So my guy Chad over there at Green Acres, he did a video after I did the video about the weedy yards and stuff. And I gotta say, man, having a guy like Chad, you know, respond to the videos that I may do or whatever, he pointed out some things that I gotta say I did not think about, right? And that's what the whole YouTube community really is all about. You know, well, I just never thought about. Now for him, he is a little bit unique because most lawn care guys that do a lot of lawn maintenance like he does, on a scale like he does, they don't do the big boy weed control and all that. Most of them. He's the only one I know that probably has 200 customers and, you know, on lawn maintenance and does the weed control too. But anyway, he did a video, and you know, he's talking about, and well, just drop the picky customers, whether they got a trashy yard or a manicured lawn. You know, just drop them if they're picky or they're, you know, and you know, if they're too picky, that's what I do. And I'm not against manicured lawns at all. I'm just, for me and my experience, which is, you know, my experience, it is what it is. Me personally, I don't do as well on the manicured lawns as I do on, you know, the stuff that's not so manicured. That's just me. But you know, but if I did weed control, well, then of course I would. That would be like, you know, that would be bad business to be not looking for, you know, higher end yards, because like Chad said, by the fact that he's, and I really never thought about it, by the fact that he's doing weed control, well, I mean, he's, of course, you know, anybody in that spot is going to be chasing the manicured lawns, because they get a 2-for-1. They get two services for the, you know, for the one trip. And if every one of your customers, if you have the ability to spray, and the, you know, the licensing and all, and the spray truck or whatever, then it would be bad business if you're looking for not weedy yards. I mean, if you're looking for weedy yards, you know, because if the yard is real weedy, they, well, they're not going to have you do that. And if I'm Chad, well, I'll try to stay away from the weedy yards, because they don't want any. There's a guarantee that they're not going to want any fertilization, weed control. But one thing that he said that really jumped out at me is, he said, you know, the manicured lawns and all, you're going to get more work. And you're probably right. I would say you're right about that for sure. And I did not really think about that, but when you know, you can't, you know, not, you know, you can't do a YouTube channel like I do, and then, and when someone else points out something you didn't even think about, you act like, you know, I'm not going to act like it's not, you know, valid. The weed control stuff over there that he does is, well, that's a big money maker. It really is. So he's not gonna, I'm sure he does some weedy yards, but yeah, you're gonna get a lot more work out of them probably. You may even get, you know, 12-month contract too. But he's right, you're gonna have a little more pickiness probably. I mean, you know, any customer can be picky. It's just what can you tolerate, you know. And then, you know, the 12-month deal too. See, if you're doing, and he mentioned something about, you know, some of the rentals and stuff that he does. I do rentals too, and like you said, you know, they're not trying to spend, and really don't even, you know, whoever owns the property. I don't normally work for renters knowingly, right? If they, you know, renting a house and they call me for, you know, $60, $70 lawn, you know, I'll look at it, but for the most part, most of the rentals that I do is from a management company, or not really well, they're a management company. I mean, it's for some real estate investors. That's most of my rentals, and they used to, you know, work with the renter and let the renter, because the renters always come in there and they tell the owners, this is what I'm telling you, what these owners have told me over the years, not just this one owner, but multitude of people that I do work for that have multiple rental properties. And what a lot of them used to do is they would not hire somebody like me, and they would just, you know, work it out with the renter. Let the renter, you know, they'll take some off the rent, you know, when they're signing the lease or whatever. Part of the lease is the renter will take care of the lawn, right? But see, what ends up happening with that is rarely do they do that. And so, you know, say somebody signs the lease with my guy, 6 months later, you know, they're moving out or whatever. He'll go over there, you know, because they'll be, you know, moving out, and he'll, you know, the owners will go over there, and the place will be a wreck, inside, outside, everything. I mean, a lot. One time, he sent me to a rental that the renter was supposed to be, you know, doing the lawn. He rolled by there, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" So he sent me over there. They were supposed to be moving out. He sent me over there, and I got over there, and the damn air conditioner was gone. You know, the unit outside. So, you know, after that happened, my guy, one of the ones that I do a lot of work for, investment group, they don't let the renters do the yard anymore. They just don't allow them to do that. They like having me go over there. And since I have no skin in the game, you know, I can, you know, they pretty much got me, you know, especially during the summer, you know, monitoring the property, because if I see the air conditioner gone, I'm going to say something. You know, I'm going to, you know, so my loyalty is to my guy. So that in itself has paid big dividends for them, because now there's no surprises when somebody moves out. They've already been, you know, well, if there's, you know, if I've been cutting the yard, they know that the yard is not going to be something they're going to have to worry about when they go in. They pull up over there and there's a freaking jungle where you can't even see the house. I mean, I've seen some properties like that where the landlord is supposed to let the renter take care of the lawn. Well, not many renters have lawnmowers. I'm not saying all of them, but, you know, I mean, why would somebody that don't own a property have a lawnmower unless they're, you know, trying to, or they did own a house or something like that? A lot of renters don't have lawnmowers, or if they do, it's some little push mower, and they're trying to get, you know, $250 off a month off their rent, and it never works out for them though. But Chad's video really made me think, and that's what it's all about, you know, what I could be missing by not doing some of the manicured stuff, you know. But see, I you know, I guess if I didn't have all the lawns that I have that are not manicured, you know, and I needed more customers, and that's what came down the pipe, then that's what I would accept, I guess. But for me, just like with Chad, he's a little bit different than most, because he has a whole lot of yards that he cuts, and he does the fertilization. And for me, I'm a little bit different too, because I have all these lawns, and then I have skid steer too. Now I know there's people out there that have lawns that does lawn maintenance, and they own a skid steer. I mean, you know, I'm not I'm not nobody special, but I'm saying for the most part, guys that do lawn maintenance like Chad and I, where we do a lot, you know, we're living, you know, basically do it for a living. They don't do skid steer work. I mean, they will, but they don't have the machine, or they don't do fertilization, weed control, or, you know, and while they're doing these 200 lawns. So, you know, we're all unique in our own little way, I guess. And we all are doing things a little bit different. But usually there's a very valid reason why people are doing, if you're out here, you know, doing this for a living, on why guys do things different. And it's usually something that is, well, it's common sense to them because of their area, the kind of equipment they have, the kind of customers they have, and what they're willing to do, right? And everything to me is based on, and the kind of and the kind of labor they have too. Everything to me is kind of, you know, based on those 3 or 4 things. Well, they're putting to build a huge development right here. They got burn piles everywhere. I kind of just want to come in and clarify, you know, that I'm not against manicured lawns. And it ain't nothing that I have really strategically done, said, okay, I'm not going to do any manicured lawns. I just, in the beginning, or, you know, right after I got started and, you know, settled in a little bit, the only work I was getting was, you know, the great big cuts, you know, 4 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, 15 acres, 30 acres, 50 acres. And those were the kind of jobs that I was getting. And so the machines that I have are all based on that, right? Or based on the ability to do, bigger cuts, you know, not specialty equipment or nothing like, you know, a mulching mower or nothing. But I just wanted to kind of comment on his video, with this video, and, you know, it's probably not going to be a full video because I'm probably going to break it up because I got a few things I'm doing today that's outside the norm. Yeah, but you know, but Chad's right in the way that for him it makes plenty of sense, and he's like me. The customer, no matter what they're paying, it don't even matter. If they're complaining and all that all the time, I'm going to drop them. Now, I'll try not to leave them in a bad spot, but if they, well, if they're in a bad spot, it'd be because they damn pushed me to the limit. So, But you can't hardly do that in the very beginning. I mean, you got to be able to build up enough and stay in business long enough to be able to build your customer base up. And if I fired every freaking picky customer that I've been through in the last 15 years, well, I might not have been able to pay my bills back then. You know, I had to go. You got to go through, and you got to go through some stuff to come out on the other side better. If you don't have any problems or any issues with customers, equipment, and all that, then you're really not evolving. If everything is really, really, really easy, to me, you're probably not making as much money as you possibly could. Nothing worth it is easy. Nothing glorifying is easy. Now, us guys that do the channel, the YouTube, us guys that do the YouTube channels, it might appear like a lot of it's easy stuff, but it's really, a lot of it's not. There's a lot of moving parts and stuff that don't even make the videos that you got to be thinking about, man, if you're a guy like Chad or a guy like me. We're not anybody special. There's a lot of guys that do a lot more work than me. But I'm just out here to show you that you don't have to, you don't have to have, 30 guys working for you to make a good living. What you got to have is you got to have consistency. You got to have, teachable mentality. And you have to be able to look in the mirror, and you have to be able to spend your money on the equipment needed. So you can have all the equipment in the world, but if you don't know how to do nothing with it, then you're a liability. Just saying. But anyway, yeah.